Welcome to game 2 of the series. It's going to be Antilles Auster versus Sirlami's Soviets this time. You're going to see Antilles fielding spearhead, festoons, armor, and close air support against Sirlami's mechanized support, defensive tactics, and shock rifle. So, game 1, Antilles managed to very aggressively push for this building. Take it, defend it with fighting positions in early Stuart, and just, of course, eventually the forward retreat point and additional pressure from tanks. Very solid performance from Antilles last game, and Sirlami just could not break the containment. See if Sirlami can do something similar here in game 2 and try and top Antilles' 473 VP victory. 2 Grenadier opening from Antilles, 2 Conscript opening from Sirlami, 3rd one in production. And they're just going to spread out and take territory initially. Pio's moving towards the right side fuel. And green cover going up from the various conscripts.
Capture complete. Soldiers ready.
Grenadiers got to the cover position first and managed to snipe 2 conscripts pretty early on right there. Kind of hard to tell who's going to win this. It looks like the conscripts are pulling ahead unless the Grenadiers get some more lucky snipes. Which they do. Okay, that's the engagement one. 2 Grenadiers went down in rapid succession right there. And the remaining model will be forced to retreat. Pio's here. Ooh, walk into the red cover. Conscripts hugged the wall right there, so that got them that engagement, and Antilles will lose 2 engagements. 2 different locations on the map. It's going to cost him in map control as conscripts are moving towards the right side fuel, and he may very soon be in the same position that his opponent was in game 1. But if Antilles can just get Sirlami down below 473 victory points, he will have faction selection in game 3. So far, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the clock ticking. He's only been able to push up here towards the center VP and slow the clock. Hasn't taken control of any other locations of this map. Going to go with a standard core of 3 Grens, 1 MG42. And as long as he can hold a line here in front of this house, he shouldn't be completely locked into his base. Pios win the engagement. Combat engineers on the left side will retreat. Simultaneous engagement for the right. Grenadiers set up at long range against conscripts in cover. Interesting placement of that green cover position right there. It looks like it's going to get the job done though. Grenadiers are going down fast. They are flanked. They should probably switch targets to the squad with no cover rather than focus firing the squad in green cover down there. Shooting at the wrong squad during that probably cost him that engagement, if it was even possible to win. MG42 also getting flanked over here. Will have to retreat, and Antilles looks like he may lose total control of the map. Forced some combat engineers away left though. Pios will have free reign to get some territory captured over there until some kind of counter harassment arrives. And these Grenadiers are actually going to ignore the fact that conscripts are outside of the base and simply advance up here towards the top left fuel cutoff. Since Sirlami has such an incredibly strong early advantage, he has 160 fuel in the bank already, which he might use with this retreated squad's tech. He'll have the fuel for a T-34 within 2 to 3 minutes at this current rate.
The enemy has cut off a sector. Flamethrower is ready.
How much do you need to spend to get a T-34? 50 plus 120 is 170, so 270. We need 270.
Contact
So he's more like 4 minutes away. Because he did just lose control of the top left fuel. Cut-off maneuver.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Ooh,
Sector under attack.
nasty crit right there. I'm not sure those will get away. Conscripts available to fire while they cross the red cover road. Most shots missing.
The new men have arrived.
I think conscripts are much better at wiping squads on retreat when they're not moving. You need to hold still and try and get a full volley off on them in red cover while holding still. Conscripts on the move have terrible accuracy.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Riflemen, on the other hand, I think are better at wiping on the move.
This is our sector.
I don't really know the numbers, that's just kind of the way it feels to me. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
Machine gun squad.
Green cover position built right here will actually give access
MG element ready.
This is not
to a slightly more powerful defensive position. There's already some green cover here anyway, so. Grenadiers supporting the MG42 on the left side. Flamethrower Pios apparently feel like they lost this engagement. I don't know. They probably could have won against 2-man Flamethrower squad. They had 3 men remaining. Didn't want to get to crit to death, I guess. Didn't want to take any unnecessary risks. Antilles is going to go with a mortar on this map. Keep it here in the back. Going very hard into tier 1 since his opponent has such a huge fuel advantage. He should definitely tech up and punish this overinvestment into tier 1. 2 team weapons, 4 grenadiers, 4 getting up to tier 2. I think a T-70 definitely could have been on the field by now. Right? Maybe not. Could have been. I could be wrong about that. He's got both fuel points though. 215 fuel in the bank, and if he actually stalls all the way to Collins, he'll give his opponent an unnecessary chance to come back from this situation that he's in. And Antilles' map control is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as Sirlami's was in game 1. Grenadiers arrived to support in this engagement. This squad had to retreat already. These two jump into the green cover position for protection from these Grens. This well does not provide enough green cover for 2 full squads. I don't think most of those models had cover. That squad is forced to retreat. These conscripts are also going to have to retreat though, falling a little bit low. And here comes support on the flank. Those grenadiers are going to go down very quick to those guards, and there's another retreat. Ghost Terror Mortar makes its way slightly closer to that engagement to support, but it's too late. Grenadiers have failed to take control of the right side of fuel, and they're all pushed right back into the base. There are some grenadiers in this building to do minor bleed to these guards, which look like they're running up for a grenade toss. Conscripts moving up on the southeast flank of the building as well. Antilles loses this position. He may get triple capped. Machine gun is spaced well for this engagement, switches targets to a squad of guards in red cover, which gets suppressed very quick. Grenade toss, he probably should have just tanked that. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Not all 3 models had green cover. And since he couldn't hold with the grenadiers here in the south, he had probably no choice but to retreat that machine gun or lose it to his opponent. Which means it looks like he's going to lose control of the center VP and consequently the entire map. He couldn't hold that house. Grenadiers are going to try and grab the fuel here. Actually, okay, a flamethrower arrived. Flamethrower got here just in time. Antilles fielding slightly more building counters than Sirlami last game. I think that's giving him a little bit of breathing room. Although the fact that this building has no northwest facing windows means that flamethrower is vulnerable to the squads up here. Nice crit right there. Heavy damage to the squad of guards behind this wagon. Rifle grenade through the house. Late reaction by Sirlami, but he does see it coming just in time. Barely. And gets that squad out of there. Antilles can't stick around with his flamethrower any longer and is forced to retreat as well. And the Osterm mortar has moved up slightly and is taking shots at guards in the center. Grenadiers try to pick up that wipe, but the squad just would not go down, and they get wiped in return by some nice flamethrower hits right there. I can't tell if those were crits or not. The squad was honestly so low that they might have just died. Normally, might have been at least one crit involved in that.
Grenadier squad is ready.
Guards will retreat, and over here on the right side, Grenadiers are going to try and slow the victory point drain. If Antilles actually manages to get 2 VPs at the same time, he might make some very meaningful progress towards faction selection in Game 3. Only has to knock 22 more VPs off the board to secure that for himself. Conscripts are on their way to shut this down, though. Guards on their way towards the middle as well. Sirlami up to 300 fuel is going to tech, getting himself tier something. Just kidding, he changed his mind. I saw him spend the fuel, but he just canceled and got it back, so guess not. Nice attempt at the grenade toss in the retreat path. Grenadiers get clear though. Sirlami will retake control of the entire battlefield without losing a single VP, still holding the clock still at 495 victory points. Antilles just cannot seem to get it ticking against his opponent. Grenadiers are on their way left to do some harassment. Lone squad harassment will be pretty safe since his opponent has not teched up to anything mobile like a T-70 that can push those squads back into the base very quickly. So Grenadiers away at the left side, uncontested.
Contact with the enemy!
Ambush camouflage now available.
Pio's forced to retreat right there. MG42 is getting flanked by a huge Soviet advance. Antilles looks like he will get... Oh.
We have been promoted.
Not only pushed back into the base, but he finally also loses control of his machine gun right there. There's his first AT gun. Timing on it seems reasonable, but his opponent still has no tech whatsoever and is actually still quite far away from being able to get call-ins too. Only 5 CPs for both players, so this won't have anything useful to contribute. And Antilles' infantry army cannot possibly keep up with this. 3 squads of guards, their grenades, PTRS's NDPs have no end of ways to shred Grenadier squads and bleed Antilles' manpower hard. If he goes with 2 AT guns,
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
which he is, may never be able to get back out of his base. Lone squad harassment left fails to the fresh squad of guards. Grenadiers will get pushed back into the base.
We are ready to go, comrades!
We are losing territory.
Maybe a bit of a late retreat on those guards. I'm surprised Antilles pulled away with the flamethrower right there. Grenade toss on no!
We are losing Soldaten.
That is not something he could afford. He lost another squad elsewhere also. I don't know what happened. He had 4 squads of Grens, now he's only got 2. Oh, demo charge. That's sneaky demo charge. How many has he lost total?
We have 300 points remaining.
3 squads of Grenadiers wiped and a machine gun stolen, so I don't know if this game is even possible to win. Look at the resource count for Sirlami at this point. The massive stall for Collins is so unnecessary. What was that?
The guards here.
Okay. Just randomly threw a grenade over that shed.
Return fire! We are taking losses! Yeah? They're shooting at us! We're losing men!
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
HMG crew is ready.
Now this land belongs to the Soviet people.
You have orders?
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Grenadiers flushed out of cover by that grenade. So far, the mortar hasn't really done much of anything, so it looks like my recommendation to Sirlami last game to go mortar to help himself out was clearly not that helpful. Whether it comes down to the mortar's placement or just randomly not hitting where it needs to, or it just not being the correct build decision to counter this, I don't know. Neither of these players is able to get out of their base. As Osther, allied pressure from the north, proving too strong. Wait, did they get the base positions wrong? I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they messed up the base positions too. I'm pretty sure allies are supposed to be north, or I mean south, because Osther is blue and allies are red, so once again, people have gotten the base positions wrong. But at least they're consistent, that's what matters the most.
We have 200 points remaining.
Flamethrower pop right there for Antilles just to kick him while he's down.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Rifle grenade, exhausting the last of Antilles' munitions right there.
The territory is out of contact.
Mortar finally hit something. It's got 9 kills. It hasn't done nothing. It just hasn't done enough. Not nearly enough. And I think that Antilles losing full squads of grenadiers in situations where he may not have had to also cost him. Sirlami, on the other hand, has lost nothing. And model losses are in Sirlami's favor in addition to the wipes. So the manpower and map control game is clearly won.
Grenadiers ready.
And Antilles is going to go with a second mortar. With only 100 victory points remaining, he has to think very carefully about how to proceed just to get 22 victory points off the board, which may, against all odds, still be possible.
We have our reinforcements.
Grenadiers providing vision for the mortars. That one will be forced to retreat. The squad possibly also forced to retreat soon. Grenade toss until he moves to dodge and does get clear. No victory point, no Hail Mary. Long victory point harassment attempts from Antilles. He will just slowly creep back out of his base and take territory on the left.
Squad replenished. The enemy has 100 points remaining.
That squad will retreat.
Do you need something?
Doesn't look like Antilles is making any real progress here. Rapidly running out of time. Pretty sure the game's going to end with Sirlami getting faction selection in game 3.
The territory is in our hands.
The enemy has 75 points remaining. You appear suited for command.
I almost wonder if double mortar would have been the right call. I mean, since Sirlami didn't tech at all, at any point this game, he has 1,800 manpower and 677 fuel right now. It almost makes me wonder if Antilles should have just gone double mortar from the beginning.
We have taken the enemy down to 50
Probably
points.
not. He probably just needed to actually set up a strong defensive line here beyond this house and hold it. Spread himself too thin and got pushed into his base.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Keep moving, heat. Stay low.
We have nearly won. 75 points.
And there you have it. GG. Antilles will surrender. Sirlami has faction selection in Game 3.